Good morning, it's Heather Smith with BarrelRacingTips.com, and I wanted to welcome you to Pistols Progress number 39. So we just finished with our ride, and I've been coming to you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning at 8:30 a.m. Central live here on Facebook to check in and take you for a ride behind the scenes with my gelding pistol as I get him in shape for competition, and it's been a blast. This is what I'm referring to as the final countdown. We actually are going to be ready to enter this weekend, so we're so excited. We've been working toward this since the 1st of June, after he was coming off an 8-month break due to having a little injury to his foot. And so anyway, that was something that just needed some time to grow out. And but I'm super excited. I feel really prepared, but at the same time, because we're always growing and always changing, I know that like even with an aged horse, even when it's a horse you've had for a long period, if you're constantly growing and changing and evolving, then your horse will be too. And so basically, we the horse we ride yesterday and the horse we ride today is not necessarily the same, even though it's the same horse. And especially the horse that we ran last year is not going to be the same we run this year, even if it's the same horse, if we're growing and evolving. So I'll tell you a little bit about what these final couple workouts look like for me. Morning, Brandy. Hi, Shannon. Good morning, Katie. Hi, Becky. Love having you gals with me. So I was a little bit delayed this morning as I was busy making some little tack adjustments so that I could make sure that both of us are getting an exact feel for the equipment that we're going to be using this weekend. And so speaking of that, I already rolled the barrels away. I took the pattern down. I'm going to ride him again on Friday. We compete on Saturday and Sunday. But my intention is to just have a really light exercise ride on Friday, just to get him moving, but I'm not actually going to work the barrels. I know that my tendency is to overdo things, and although I don't feel like I've been slipping into that habit too far in general, I know that we had a good workout today, that we're at this point as prepared as far as tuning on the pattern as we're going to be, and that it would do him more favors to just have his body really fresh for the weekend, instead of, like, I could accomplish more with him feeling good and feeling fresh than if I had a really intense, one more intense tuning session the day before, and then potentially create some inflammation and soreness. And so hopefully that's something that you can keep in mind with your horses. But so I rolled the barrels away, but I was gonna talk a little bit about the first barrel and tell you about the exercise I did today. So I had the pattern set up, and then I took a couple extra barrels, because I actually have 6 of them total here at the arena. And I took 2 extra barrels and I set them up kind of staggered, like on the way to the first barrel, so that there were like 2 extra barrels on the way to the path to the first barrel. And then so what I did is that, like I did the other day, I kind of put him on his honor and tested him, and I just used my focus and my subtle body language to ask him to head towards that first barrel. And he did really well. There was maybe twice that I worked that series, and he kind of got off path a little bit. So then again, I really, with a lot of urgency, corrected him with my leg, and then really offered him a lot of comfort and peace when he got back on track. And so I feel like the more we can get our horses like thinking more about turning and a little bit less about running, the better. And so if he has it in his mind when we leave for the first barrel, like turn, 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 instead of just run, 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 then when those extra barrels aren't there, he's more likely to, by the time we get to the first barrel in real life, he's more likely to be ready and focused and looking for it. And I mentioned in our the first time we did exhibitions a couple weeks ago, I noticed that he kind of tends to lose his hind end a little bit at 2 different points on the back side of the turn. So today I just kind of tapped him on the rear end, like right when we got to that point, to just remind him, like, get under yourself at those specific points in the turn. Like, he is really sensitive and responds really well to being sort of encouraged and driven from behind. And he's really sensitive in that sense. He takes me really seriously when I sort of tap him back there. And I also want to make sure that he's responding to my body language, so that when I'm asking him to, like, come on with my body and my energy to really hustle, like, I want to be able to, like, let's say we stop for a rest break at the first barrel, and then right at that point beyond that, he needs to, like, really get engaged, and like, immediately. And so if I raise my energy and ask him to go, it can't be like, okay. I mean, when I lift my energy, it has to be like now. It has to be immediate, and it has to be correct. And so we worked a little bit on that. I just really had high expectations. And I also did just a little bit of the rollbacks on the fence, where I go around the barrel, go to the fence, roll back, go around the barrel. That went really well. Part of the reason it felt really good is because our ground feels so much better. It is so soft and consistent now. And it won't necessarily stay this nice because it is still mostly clay. We're having more sand added in a few months. But for now that it's dry and that it's worked up so fine, he can actually sink into it. And I think that's just easier on their bodies. And he kind of knows what to expect with it's consistent and it's soft without the clods and the hardness and so forth. And so everything felt a lot smoother. So that's what we worked on today. And I'm just keeping him moving because it's hot. We're just like a few minutes behind where I'd like to be time-wise. So, you know, every minute matters when it's this hot. And so we try to do our best to stay on track. And so I'm going to continue. One of the things I do, because he had kind of an intense workout, is that when we get to the walking portion and it's time to cool out, I'll just get off of him and hand walk him. Just because it is easier on their bodies to not have to pack around a rider. So that's something to keep in mind whenever even I'm walking from point A to point B at a barrel race, especially across parking lots and so forth. I will always get off my horse's back and give them a break, because we're partners after all. So that about wraps up what we're working on. Whoa, pistol. Come on, get up. Pistol, come here. Pistol. Get up. Oh my gosh. So he just laid down to roll. And I'm like, you are not going over on the saddle. So excuse me. That's hilarious. So, oh my gosh. So this is the adventure. I've never had anything quite that exciting happen when I was live before, but you never know. So, what's gonna happen? So thank goodness. Oh, good grief. I'm kind of laughing to myself, but I'm relieved too that I was able to get him up and he didn't go over on the saddle. So, but he did lay down. It is hot and he is sweaty and we're walking. And this arena, now that we have it all fixed up, is like irresistible. So I don't blame him, and it would have been easier if I only had one hand, you know. So, so I had one hand on my phone and only one hand to try to encourage him to get back up. So, we gotta watch him. We gotta watch that. He usually knows the difference. He's never actually attempted I hand walk him after our rides often, and he hasn't attempted that. He knows the difference, like when it's okay to roll. Often I give him a hand signal. And he definitely, or so I thought, but like I said, this arena is irresistible now. It's really hot, he's really sweaty. So anyway, but my apologies for the screaming in the phone and the interesting view. So anyway, so I summed that up, what I was talking about as far as the exercise that I did with the first barrel today. And it felt good. I feel really confident about where he's at. I'm just so excited. I have to go do a little dusting off of my tack here now and give him a bath. But I feel really confident about where we're at. He feels stronger than ever. He just feels amazing. And that's the thing, is that like we never stop growing and evolving, and our horses, even as they age, even if they've overcome injuries, I say that our horses can never be as good as they were before they had an injury. They've got to be better. Otherwise, the chances of something occurring again is just really going to be there, and we need to continue to take our level of care for them to the next level. And it's just a continuous upward spiral, and there's no reason that like we can't just continue to improve and they can't continue to get better and stronger and more beautiful and more sound and higher performing as they age. So I feel like he hasn't even reached his peak yet at 15, and I know we have so much to look forward to. So I hope you got a little bit of value out of today about what my the final couple rides look like before I'm getting ready to compete. Hopefully that little exercise for the first barrel was helpful. You can get that at actually you get the exercise for free at my First Barrel Fixes. I'll post the link in the comments when I get in the house, so you can actually get that exercise and 5 total first barrel exercises. So I'm going to pop in again with you Friday morning, and then I'll do my best to keep you updated through the weekend, but we're just really excited and have a lot to look forward to. And so I've got to make sure, I've got to be a little bit careful about my multitasking so that I'm just cracking up because I'm thinking about what it must have been like on the other end. Pistol. Oh, good grief. So again, I hope you can laugh about it too. But so I'll be back Friday morning with a final Pistol's progress. And so thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. It looks like the connection was kind of cutting in and out there. So anyway, we'll talk again soon. And oh, good grief, Pistol, he just cracks me up. So I'm gonna go get him cleaned up, and thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you next time.